Looking to replace your current CRM? Or perhaps just curious what Swayze CRM offers? Good. Tonight, Liam and Heather are joined by CEO Tim James, and we'll be diving into many features Swayze CRM has to offer and answering questions you may have.
Well, I tell you what, it just gets exciting every time I get to see the intros. I got to approve them, but even after I see them, guys, I still like them. I like them. But people ask me, they say, why do you do the intros? And I said, well, listen, I said, if I was skimming through Facebook groups or LinkedIn or whatever, and I seen us four beautiful people, I may not stop. But if I see a music and I see somebody dancing, and I stop and I say, what is this, So that's why we do it, and I hope we didn't do you any bad service. I thought we did a good job with you guys, and you're welcome to that, to use it anytime you want. But before we start, Tim and Jacob, we're going to do a little housekeeping, and then we'll get going. And I know a lot of people are excited tonight about what you're going to bring to the show, and but there's a good chance we'll have you back because a lot of times you just kind of get people excited, and then they want to know more, and then we do that. But Next week we have Aldo Ventura is going to be on. He's one of our paid members. He's one of our guys that have been with me from the beginning, and he was one of the guys that I helped. He was trying to figure out, what to do with his group, how to get started. And I said, well, tell me a little bit about yourself. And he said, well, I'm a special needs parent. And I said, well, stop right there. And he said, what do you mean? I said, well, there's your group. Special needs, is pretty awesome. You need to teach people how to do special needs trust and special needs funding. And he said, I've been looking for what I'm going to do. He said, you're right. And so all of a sudden he set up his group. It's going great. He's helping a lot of families. His son has dwarfism, and he's going to give us some pictures of him. And his son's super cool. He does all kinds of great stuff. He just had back surgery, and he's already making Aldo let him play. And he's like, man, he's 12 years old. He's like, wants to get out of the house. And Aldo said, no, you got to get healed up, but they're going to be talking with us next week, and that's going to be a cool show. We also have Nashville coming up with Tom Hagna and David McKnight. They got a big show going on down there with Van Miller is going to be down there. Ed Slott, that's going to be May the 16th and the 17th. If you want to, we're going to start. We've been advertising, but now we're going to put the stuff on there where you can register. They have a flash sale right now with the hotel is $1,200, $1,250 is what it is, $1,250. You don't have to do the hotel. The hotel is $250 a night. You can get your own hotel, and then the event's only like $600. And I don't know why a lot of people wouldn't be going to that event. It's in Nashville, Tennessee. It's going to be a great show. I'm going to be down there mingling with everybody. You'll get to meet four of the biggest superstars in the business. That'd be the first time they've ever been on stage, and it's called the Heroes of Zero. As most of you know, that I have also got a book on tax-free retirement, the Babe Ruth Bucket System, and the Babe Ruth Bucket Series. That being said, that's what you're here for tonight. This is the Babe Ruth Bucket System. It's the show that we do every single week, and every week we have great guests, and this won't be any different, right, Heather? Because these are Heather's good buddies. And Heather comes on every couple of weeks and surprises us with something that we all didn't know about. So I'm going to turn it over to Heather. She's going to introduce these two great fellas, and hopefully you're going to learn a little something tonight. And also, let's help you scale and get a little bit more money in your pocket. So Heather, I'm turning it over to you.
So we are not live in the Facebook group, but we are live on the other platforms. So I am busy. I'm going to tell people to go over to YouTube because if you all know, Facebook got rid of third-party apps. So trying to stream to Facebook now is just a little bit more difficult than it used to be. So anyway, I'm going to hand it over to Tim and Jacob to start talking about this. And worst comes to worst, we'll just put the video up in an hour or so people can watch it later.
I don't know why Facebook does that stupid stuff. But anyway, it doesn't matter. We'll get around it. If there's a way, if there's a will, there's a way. Right, Tim?
There is. And you know what? I'm going to agree with you. We run a lot of Facebook ads. There is no rhyme or reason to Facebook's algorithm. I can say that with 100% confidence. It makes no sense whatsoever.
Well, the
Okay.
good news is we're going to take this and we'll put it out anyway. So, and the people will still be able to reach out to you. We'll have it out in about an hour. So, Tim James and Jacob Ratcliffe, you guys, I don't know a lot about your world. Heather knows more about it than I do. But I'm going to start off with you, Tim. Kind of tell us a little bit about what you're doing. Tell us about your sidekick, Jacob, and what we're going to do for the people out there today.
I like that. He is definitely my sidekick. What we do is we run a CRM platform called Swayze CRM. It is a go high level platform. So most agents, I would say 90 to 99% of the agents in the internet world understand what go high level is. Go high level is essentially like the WordPress of CRMs. But what we do is we come in and we customize those solutions. We customize out automations, funnels, websites, AI bots, and we build out these very specific niche down campaigns for insurance agents in the life and health space. So that's all we do. All we focus on is marketing and tech. And our goal, since we are not selling agents, is to make sure that agents have everything that they need to succeed, whether it be follow-up, whether it be automations, whether it be Facebook ads, whether it be appointment setters. We have it all within the Swayze CRM platform. Jacob, does that sound pretty accurate to you?
Yeah, it's very accurate. You know, we're very focused on the independent agents, but we also are getting a lot more agencies and large sales groups as well. So we kind of cater to a wide audience, and some of the solutions we provide are incredibly innovative in what we're doing. And so we're definitely excited to have brought this to fruition. And so just a little bit about me. My name is Jacob Ratcliffe. I'm the CTO for Swayze. And so prior to joining Swayze, I was also involved with the High Level platform as a developer partner. And I've also been involved with High Level for probably about 30 or 40 different niches and verticals, and discovered that really that this software is the future. It's going to probably dominate the entire CRM sphere because of how customizable it is and what you can do with it. And so joining Swayze and joining a more niche custom solution is what I wanted to do. Tim's been an amazing partner in helping craft, not just help craft an offer, but also kind of respond as we go to really hone in on what their needs are. And so we're just absolutely excited about what we're doing and the kind of things that we can do on behalf of life and health insurance agents. And it seems to be expanding because we're also kind of expanding to other people that might join Swayze for other niches and verticals, just because they know what we're about. They know the kind of things that we do for our customers. And so does that kind of wrap it up, Tim? A little bit more about us, but Tim, introduce yourself as well.
Yeah. So I'm Tim James. I would say I'm semi-famous in the insurance space. I'm not, you may have heard my name. Someone once told me, you're the most, you're the industry's most famous well-kept secret or something like that. And I always like that because, I've been doing this for about 6 years in this space. And where I started was training appointment setters from the Philippines and turning them over to Medicare agents. And then slowly over time, I started getting into lead gen and to High Level. And I started really building out a lot of these kind of catered systems to agents. So about 95% of the agents we bring in are referrals. So like our blood in our industry, like our lifeline is making sure that agents are happy and they have an all-in-one platform where they can succeed and they can scale. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and I think one of the things that what we liked about you guys was that we're of course using you as well. I don't bring a lot of people on here unless we either know a lot about them or we're using them. It's no different than you helping us, we're helping you. And if we didn't believe in you, we wouldn't bring you out here. But let me start with this, Tim. If I'm and I appreciate Jacob, you guys doing the introduction because I Heather's working on the other and appreciate you guys doing that. But let me ask you this: if I'm just a guy that let's use me. I'm retired, but I retired 7 years ago. I own an agency. I do all this training stuff. But let's say I'm an agent and I've been in the business 20, 30 years. How does a guy that doesn't have any knowledge of what a CRM is or what any of that kind of start me out with, if that's okay, a place to start, kind of what you would say to that individual and how you can show them how to scale and that'll be the next thing. A lot of young agents don't know how to scale, so I'm sure that ties in with both groups. Yes.
Yes, absolutely. And so that is the target agent. When we started building Swayze, that was who we had in mind, right? So I mean, anyone can learn. Like, so we give people the ability to learn within the platform and grow and to be able to build their own things. But we offer three types of packages, right? And so for the agent that's been in the industry and just like is like, hey, I know I need to get into this tech and marketing space, but I'm losing my butt on, spending thousands of dollars a month on the next shiny object. Swayze is a really viable option because we do all of your marketing for you. We set up the CRM for you. We set up the AI bot for you. We literally will even follow up with the leads for you and perform live transfers or book appointments. So we have different tiers because every insurance agent is at a different part in their journey, right? Some people just like the CRM. They love the bells and whistles and the features. They know what to do. And that, maybe that's the $97 plan that they're on. But then there might be the agent that's like, hey, man, I want to take advantage of this. But what I really want to do is I want to focus on closing. So can you just line up the appointments for me? Help me get the lowest cost per lead with the highest ROI. And that's what we do. We're an all-in-one platform. So whatever your needs are, as long as you're in the life and health space, we can help you. Does that make sense?
What would be an example, Tim, for somebody starting out? Well, let's go through each package. Let's say that they start out with a basic package. What would you guys do for them? How would that look? And if you have something to show us. If not, just tell us about what you're saying.
Yeah, absolutely. So our starter package, we call it the standalone plan. So if you go to SwayzeCRM.com and you opt in, you can see all the different plans side by side, and it'll tell you what you get for each plan. But that is a fully functional CRM that's already set up for you. Okay. So meaning we give you all the tools for you to do it yourself on that plan. We show you how to do it. There's group onboardings, but you're not getting as much attention from us at the $97 a month plan. We have live courses in all of the plans. So we have people doing Medicare training, doing ACA training, and that's included in all the plans. So the $97 plan is for someone that wants to just wants to use our tools and use the system, right? The done for you plan is for people that just want us to do everything for them. And that means building the ad creatives from the ground up, doing the media buying, scaling your Facebook or TikTok ads, customizing your funnels, customizing your bots, just basically turning the thing on and making sure it delivers your leads to you at a reasonable price. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and you feel okay to tell us the cost of that? Is that
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. The done for you plan is $797 a month. You can start, stop, resume, pause, downgrade, upgrade anytime. We don't have any contracts. We are not an IMO or an agency. We're not trying to build a downline or anything like that. We're very flexible. Everything we do is on a month-to-month basis because we want to earn your business every month. And if you're not happy with our services, then we don't want to lock you into a price. Right?
You can even go the other way, right? You could start with the basic plan, and I get it because you know as well as I do, and this is the business where I tell people I've been screwed so many times I walk into meetings backwards.
Right.
You get all these promises and they never come to fruition. So if you're that guy, and I get it, the guys that know what the all-in package is, they'll probably go right for it because they know exactly what to look for. But if a guy like me doesn't know much about it, I got Heather and I got Drew and I've got other people that do, I let them make that decision. But if you're not that guy, then you try the basic package and then that begins to work. You can scale up into the bigger programs as well. Yes, absolutely.
And we have people doing it the opposite way as well. Sometimes people want to start off with the done for you plan, get everything up and rolling, and then they downgrade. And so, how it is, especially in life, and there's different seasons. You've got AEP, OEP, and agents are up and down. So we wanted to have a flexible pricing model so that, number one, we retained agents, but number two, it would always match what their current needs were, right?
Yeah, and you can make money on the 97 for a while, and if you're scaling, then you can just stay there if you're comfortable.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. I'm gonna bring Jacob in because I know I called him a geek earlier, and he said no. What'd you say you were? You're in the green room. You're not a geek. You're what are you? You're the brains, I think he said.
There's the brains, and then there's the ops and the sales,
Tell me a
persuasion
little bit
genius.
about the backroom stuff, and
Yeah.
as exciting as you can make it, because I know I tell people that a lot of times I get hired to do, I get to speak at lunch, or I get to speak on, the all of the stuff that compliance stuff, and nobody falls asleep, right?
Right.
That's that's what I'm good at. So I want you to kind of give us a little bit of the backroom stuff, and how it's important, and how it kind of fits and flows. Okay.
For sure. And so maybe peeling back the onion a little bit is what happens when you're an independent agent for insurance, right? There's a lot on your shoulders just to run your own business, right? To get organized. We see people at all phases of the journey, right? We have literally people who are asking us questions that literally just got their licensure, and they're coming to us, and so we're responding to that need. And so we started off, we're like, what would we do for these folks? So beyond the technical side of it, right? We established a community within inside of Swayze. We wanted to give them an opportunity to connect to other agents in a way that is not sort of like a salesy sort of thing. So beyond the tech, beyond the other things, we offer that community to our people. And I'll just give you a little preview on the inside of Swayze. And so let me just show you what this looks like. And so over here, you can see we have a lot of different options in here. So this is
Hang on one second, Heather. Do I need to add that to the page, or how's that work?
Yeah, let me know if you guys can see my screen.
Do I add that to the stage? Will it knock? There you go. Okay. There we go. We got it.
Yeah, so here's the inside of Swayze, and this is our community where people can come in, we can chat, and you can learn a little bit more about a topic. We have experts that offer up courses as well. So you can chat on this sort of like mini Facebook group with other experts in the field. We have a live courses feature where you can basically come on here, and I'm going to show you what this looks like. So you can come on here and actually register for these different calls that we do on each day. So you can come through each day. We have an amazing business coach. We have a telesales course. We have town hall meetings where you get to come in and basically pick our brains for an entire hour on regardless of what plan you're on, anything you're struggling with. Like, we're just available for 2 hours a week where people can talk to us on any plan level. All Things ACA is another fantastic course being led by Aaron Bart. And so, there's technology, but there's also what we recognize is that, when you become an independent agent, you need something a little bit more than just technology. You need people, you need a community, you need something to kind of bridge that gap. And so we're wanting to offer all those things in sort of like one place. And then in terms of how we do things differently and to make things simplistic, we pre-build things within Swayze to make it very simplistic for people to deploy certain campaigns. So if I want to sell ACA, or if I want to sell final expense, it's sort of like a load and go type system where people can come in here and basically choose what they want and load it into their accounts. It's pre-built, it's preloaded. It notifies our team that you've done this, so we can come in and make sure things are set up the right way. And it's a very different approach from others in the industry who've overcomplicated this process. There's a lot of people who've used this product, like the high-level product. They say they can't stand it. They'd rather just use a Google Sheet. It's too confusing. And so, prior to this, I actually used to teach kindergarten through 5th grade. So I got a little bit of knowledge on, how to work with people of different technical skills and levels. And what I realize is sometimes you just need an easy button just to get things going. And so me and Tim design things to be just like that, to be very simple and give a lot of access. We have an amazing support staff that you can hit 9 to 5. You basically can chat with these guys in our live Zoom support and get support at any point in time. And so when we talk about some of these different plan tiers and what it is on the technical front and what we're doing, of course, a lot of it is built around these automations, which is sort of our bread and butter with our technology, that we're trying to get your leads as far along the process as we possibly can, right? So the leads, if you need information, of course we can get that from advertising, but our software is trying to put them through as many surveys and forms to try to lessen the load on the agent. Because what we recognize is that efficiency is how you can grow and scale as an individual, as one person. So we have to leverage technology to try to grow our businesses at some point in the game. And so we're trying to package this in such a way that you can fill your pipeline with as many leads as you possibly can. And they kind of work their way through this enrollment process to try to give you as much as you need to minimize the time that you're on the phone, to minimize the time that you have to spend with the lead, and to try to maximize the number of leads that you can process at a given time. So hopefully that explains just a little more about how our system works and functions. And so when we start talking about these other tiers and plans, we start talking about the $297 and above, then we're starting to talk about access to our exclusive leads. So it's sort of like a club. It's sort of like an exclusive lead store that we offer. And right now we're focused on the for ACA space, but we're going to be expanding into others pretty soon. And so this basically gives you more access to priority support with us and access to those leads. And then the done for you is it's sort of hard to explain what we're going to do, but I'm to put it simply, we are literally going to do it for you as much as we possibly can. We've recognized, and I think everybody can agree with this in any vertical, in any niche, if you don't contact the lead almost immediately when they opt into something, they're going to bail. They're gone. Forget about it. 5 minutes later, 10 minutes later, they're doom scrolling on Facebook. They're scrolling around on Instagram. If you don't catch them in the moment, they're gone. And so we recognize that. There's a lot of frustration around that you're paying for leads on your own budget and your own dime. They fill in these forms and then they just bail and they disappear. It's like the strangest thing. And so with Swayze, me and Tim have spent tons of time just thinking about this issue. Like, what can we do? How can we help these agents? And how can we maximize the money they're actually investing into this? And so we've got some amazing solutions that are going to be with our done for you plan. And so Tim, I don't want to like steal the whole show here. I want to let you come.
I'm not going to let that happen, Tim. I'm not going to let it happen.
Yeah. So do you want to jump in, Tim, or you want me to kind of?
Well, yeah. I want to. Let the host jump in.
I want to jump on the bandwagon because
for sure.
I'm glad you put this up because even on the 97, I mean, look at the value. I mean, if for a guy that maybe doesn't have a huge budget right off the bat and maybe he's a brand new guy, like you said, and he can't do the 300 a month or he can't do the 800. I'm just rounding up. But what I'm saying though is if you look at, if you can just get through that program, I'm thinking 60, 90 days, it shouldn't take you that long. But if it does, it shouldn't take much longer after that to maybe get into the advanced plan or even go the other, because it looks like there's a whole lot of stuff for the value of the 97. You just got to do a little bit more of it on your own. Yes.
Right.
100%.
Sort of like a load and go. But once you're organized and you're set up in the system, you're going to ROI, at least 10 times this. And if you're not, then of course you should reach out to us because we want to help, and I think that's the major difference is that we don't look at the plan tiers when our customers contact us. We don't look at our thing and be like, well, maybe I should spend more time with this guy over here. Like we really do care about each one of our subscriptions and like how we can level them up. And what we recognize that it's not just about tech and tools. There's more to the story. And we know that people want leads, but then if they don't have some way to work those and be efficient and know how to get through them quickly, efficiently, and like, what if they filled out the form with bad information? What do you do? And there's things we're going to implement on the technology front to help with that. Other industries have figured this out. And I think that the issue right now in the life and health insurance space is that they're just now kind of catching up to the fact that, real estate's been trying to find people for a long time that won't pick up the phone. You know what I mean? Or you can't get a hold of a homeowner. So there's things that we can be doing to help maybe recapture a lot of leads and really get a lot of ROI out of a simple plan tier. And so we're excited to be doing some dev work.
Well, and I think, and Tim, I want you to address this. I think that the issue is too, and I think this is where you guys are going, and I think this is what we do in our group. You know, we want people to be successful. If we're successful, they're successful. And so if this plan, if what you're doing doesn't work, you want to know about it, yes? And then you want to say, listen, guys, you're not doing this piece of the. Here's my biggest problem with young agents and even people that are trying to. They don't follow through with the plan. They just you've got to do the system. It's set up for a certain way. Now, I'm not a script guy. I don't like scripts. I don't believe in scripts. A lot of people do, and they like to use them because I've been doing this for a long time. I can take a script and make it my own, right? But for somebody that's brand new, I said, don't do that because you're not at that level, right? So if they do what you guys are saying here, and they should be successful. But Tim, kind of touch on that a little bit, and I'm getting that vibe from Jacob that if it doesn't work, let us know. We're successful if you're successful, or nobody wins.
Yes, that's exactly right. And you know, one of the first things that we started focusing on before we even started touching the automations and everything was support, right? So the reason we have town halls on Tuesdays and Thursdays is literally like so that we can see what's going on and for us to keep our finger on the pulse, because what happens is the more advanced we get with technology, right? Me and Jacob, the further away we get from what the agent needs. And oftentimes it's just something very simple that they need, right? But our minds are off over here. So it's so important not only for the agent to have communication with us, but for us to have communication with the agent so we can keep our mind in alignment with what the agent needs and keep our finger on the pulse. So we take that very, very seriously. That's why we have a ticketing system. That's why we have a live support rep. That's why we do the courses and the town halls and everything that an agent would need on this $97 plan, right? We have all the videos and the setup that you would need to run a successful campaign. You have access to Facebook ads for any of our industries that you can just point and click and launch directly from the CRM. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and you know, one of the things that we do open office hours, which is similar to your town hall, and we're getting ready to do mastermind open office hours where we're going to have once a month, and we would have a group like you guys. I would say, listen, in August, we're going to have Jacob and Tim on for our mastermind for a full hour. And then you come in and talk to some of our people that may be using it, may not be. It helps everybody, right? But I think one of the things too, Tim, that I'm interested in, one of the people asked a question here. I'm seeing a couple come through, Heather. I'm not seeing them on this screen, but I see them on the other. And it said that on the $97, would you have your own leads, or do they have to load them and work them themselves? So somebody's asking, Gazelle's asking, how does that work?
You can load your own leads in, and we've got regardless of the age of your leads, we have scrubbing filters and stuff like that to make sure that your numbers and all that stuff that you're dialing are compliant. But also you can self-launch your own Facebook ad campaigns directly from the CRM. So we have pretty much anything that we do on Facebook. And this is not me bragging, but it's the truth. We have really mastered the art of Facebook lead gen. And so all the ads that you can run from the $97 plans are ads that we have A/B tested and are proven ads. Does that make sense?
Right. And then Robert Flam, there's like, I want to say it right, Flam Jr. says, regardless of the level of help, we kind of touched on this a minute ago, the CRM, regardless of the level of the CRM does, you need to trust the system and build a relationship bridge between the parties. So I think he probably is familiar with what you're doing. And I think we touched on that just a minute ago, that, just because you buy something, for instance, like we've got people that are paid members in our group, and they get discounts on different programs, stuff like that. And I'm sure we'll do something with you guys. But one of the things that I told Heather, I said, I go down and I look at some of the members that are paid members with us, and I haven't heard from them in 3 months. I email them, I text them, and they just put me on their credit card. So they're not getting the advantage of why they joined our group. And so why would you do that? But
it's so funny you mentioned that.
Yeah,
we just went through our own client list, and what was actually surprising was the level of utilization. It's software is one of those interesting industries where people will just purchase stuff and maybe never use it or use it for like a day, and they'll stay subscribed for like a year. Or people will have a Netflix subscription and maybe only watch it a few times and maybe only watch the Disney Channel the rest because their kid gobbles the TV time. And so I think that software is such a unique space in that regard. But what we're doing too is we're actually watching utilization. We're going into all those accounts. We're seeing if you're using it, because for us, we know that if someone's not going to use it, then eventually they're going to leave. And for them to start using it and getting the value and benefit out of their business, we need to do more. We got to do more as the software owners to be involved, to make sure that they've got what they need. And if they don't, then we offer up our time. We get them involved. We try to get them in our courses. We try to get them in touch with our lead vendors. We want to see them be successful. We want to see them on our platform for a long time. But beyond that too, for us to grow our company, they got to talk about our company. And I think in the software industry, that if people are not talking about your product or don't know about it, then that is truly the worst thing that can happen, because most software companies go on the rocket ship and then interest fades. And so we are at the amazing growth phase right now in our company. We're so excited about what it's doing. And so we know that if we dig in and we go to every single account and go to every person who touches this software and is inside the software, and we can get them a win and get some success for them, that it's going to just help us long term with what we're doing. And it's these little things like this ad launching tool is probably our most popular tool. It's so easy to take something so complex like a Facebook ad and just make a really ready click option just to be able to launch ads. It's such a small thing, but it's so significant in that it empowers these people that are terrified of jumping on a platform as complex as Facebook and doing it on their own, and doing something so easy as just pressing a few buttons and letting it go, And I think that's those are the things that we look at as value into the system. But none of these things matter if they don't feel confident in this system, if they don't feel like they can actually reach out to somebody. I mean, how many times have you used some software and it was broken or something was wrong with it and you just had nobody to talk to? You submitted some support ticket, you got some sort of generic answer from some support team that was contracted out. And what we've realized is in our space, in our industry, including lots of the big name competitors of ours, they've outsourced everything. They even will go on live camera and tell the whole world how their support team is so great, but it's contracted support. They're not really involved in their business. And so we are very proud of the fact that we have our own in-house team from day one. We did the hard thing to set it up for success. We didn't pass it off to support vendors and to these other people. We built everything from scratch because we knew that your reputation in the software industry has to be at the best. People have to really feel the difference of what it's like to actually go on your platform. And so, and so that's a little bit about like ad launch and some of the other things we got going on. But I think what's exciting.
Back to that question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, and I think you answered it, but I want to make sure that we simplify it a little bit. So if they don't have their own leads, you find them leads on each of the platforms, or just the other two?
So we, at different plan tiers, we currently are offering where you can sort of basically just come on here and purchase it like a mini store. So you can basically come on here and purchase leads for a set price, either $3 leads or $26 leads right now as of April 23rd. And you can purchase these leads with different information. And so on our 97 plan, we offer the cheaper leads. And on our 297 plan, we do offer some more expensive leads that are a little bit more involved, have a lot more information in them. And so you can get on there and hop on there and purchase those leads from day one, depending on your plan tier. And then, or you could just launch an ad and generate your own traffic to your own leads.
Or we can do it for you, right? So we wanted to give agents the option. Some agents just straight up, it's just like, hey, I don't want to mess with the Facebook ads. I just want to buy good leads and call them or have appointments, right? Some agents are like, hey, cost per lead is very important to me, right? I want you to run my ads for me, and my branding is important to me. So I want you to build these ads out in alignment with my brand, but for whatever, for different agendas. Like I said, every agent is at a different point in their journey and what they want. They've all had different experiences. And so we want to be able to cater to people and their needs. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So if they do the bigger plan, then do you pay for the ads out of that?
No. They are always responsible for their own ad spend, but we will do full ad management, CRM management, setup, follow up, AI setup, follow up, everything. So whenever I'm selling the done for you plan, I'll tell you who it's for. If you just want to focus on calling or showing up to your appointments or enrolling people, the done for you plan is for you. We handle everything for you, right?
Except for the ad price, right? You pay the extra.
Yeah, they are responsible for their ad spend, but we do all of the legwork for you.
So one of the questions was, does Facebook charge you to post those ads? Yeah, just like any other thing, it would be a Facebook, whatever. You could do $5 a day, $10, whatever, right? I mean, that's not going to change the system.
Yeah, so, you have full flexibility with it. You don't have to commit to anything. You could have a budget of, $50 a day, and then maybe the next week you want to go down, up, or pause it. It's not like it's just a daily spend with Facebook.
Right.
And the thing that I'm getting, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, if you want to put a lot of effort in and you can be successful. I mean, I'm big on hands-on. I like to do it. I have a thing that I always say, on the shoulders of giants. I can call anybody. I got Ted Nugent on the phone, for God's sakes. And people said, how do you do that? I mean, hell, I got Jacob and Tim James, Jacob rather, how do you get those guys on your show? And I just tell you about it, I've always been that guy. So I would have no problem with the standalone plan because I want to work and I want to do it. But I also understand that it's easier for me to have somebody introduce me to that next guy. So then I say, well, now I want to go to this next level. But so I want agents to understand that even if, and I tell people, don't be ashamed that you can't afford the 7 night. I mean, you got to get there. I hate the way people train and say, driving my Lamborghini, come see my 15,000 square foot house. It happens overnight. No, it doesn't. But I honestly believe, if I'm looking at this right, I would say, and I know you guys maybe you would agree or disagree, but I always tell people, listen, give it 90 days. And in 90 days, you should be able to move up, because if you work the plan, now that's a big part of it. If I'm getting that from Jacob, working it, we can't help you. But if you work the plan, then you can get to the objective. To me, for these people, and I would think, would be to try to get to the done for you plan within maybe 6 to a month to a year when you start with you guys, if you can't start right off the bat. I think that would be most scalable.
It's the most scalable plan, because, right, let's think about it, especially with telesales, it's all about numbers. How many conversations can you have with a qualified lead in a day's time, right? And so, I've had people say this, and I'll live by this number. If you can have 5 good conversations per day, you're on the right path, right? So if you can have, and what I mean by a good conversation is you're talking to a qualified prospect, you're on the phone with them. Doesn't necessarily mean that you're closing 5 a day, but it means if you're having 5 good conversations. Well, that's not always easy to get to, right? 5 good conversations a day takes a lot of marketing effort, and there's a lot of kind of like a snowball effect, right? So the goal is with telesales, the advantage to telesales is that you can hit a large swath of people. And if you do it right, you can go back to back to back to back to back, and then eventually start building an agency or whatever you need to do to scale out. The done for you plan, it's for people that just want to focus on getting on the phone and closing deals, right?
Right. Well, but this is what's great about our group, Heather. We didn't even tell them it's question and answer time. They know. Half hour in, start asking questions. So we're into the question section now. And I know, Tim, you and Jacob in the green room said you'd stay as long as we could for answering questions. You got another question. It says, looks like you guys could be offering, I don't know what it is, but it said FEX calls in leads soon. Yes. And is the cost per lead impacted by the plan level?
No. We are working on right now. We have ACA inbound calls. Final expense inbound calls are coming. They're going to be click to call calls coming. We haven't gotten a price yet. We're negotiating that right now. So that is coming. Final expense, we do offer, if you want to just purchase final expense leads, they're $6 a piece. and we can do that. They're just not in our lead store yet, but we can fulfill those orders. Now on our Facebook ad campaigns, and that's another thing we didn't even really touch on for the done for you plan. We're not just running one campaign for you. We can run as many campaigns as you want. There's no cap, right? So if you do final expense and Medicare, we can run both of those campaigns. If you do, ACA and mortgage protection, we can run both of those campaigns, right? So we don't cap it. Now, if you start spending over like $200 a day in ad spend, right, then we're gonna have to have a different conversation because it becomes more involved for us, right? But it can be pick and choose what campaigns you want to do. We look at what we do a call with you once every week or every 2 weeks, see how everything's going, what changes you want to make, and then we just go with it. Okay.
I think Gazelle asked 2 questions, but I think they're the same. You just hit it on the head. You want to know, can you do Medicare leads? But I think you just hit on that. But she also said, we pay for each campaign, and if so, how much is that? So if you did 2 campaigns, there would be 2 ad space pays, right? But you wouldn't pay 2 $797s, right?
No, it's one price for everything.
Okay.
And also, we have not updated this on the website, but the done for you plan also includes an appointment setter. So if you have old leads, or if you need a dedicated appointment setter, we hire from Jamaica, and we have killer appointment setters, right? So they can either work 20-hour shifts or 40. Okay, so depending on what your need level is, we can accommodate it. They are $4 an hour. You are responsible for their labor costs, but we handle all of the management, the setup, the everything. And they will dial your leads if you can't get to them, and they will dial your leads in real time as well. So we offer that as well in the done for you plan. No additional fee from us.
All right, let me ask you another question, and Heather, you can chime in too. I know you got some things that you want to say, but so we're partnering with Phil Graham, and Phil Graham has a beneficiary payout plan where within 24 hours of somebody dying, they don't have to have a death certificate, they get paid. And it's a premium type plan from $5,000 to $150,000. So if we wanted to do a lead for that, could you design a lead around that similar to doing a Medicare lead or
absolutely,
whatever?
Yeah, absolutely could. And so I'm seeing all these questions about the cost per lead, right? So I can tell you right now, generally, if we're doing your Facebook ads for you, what your cost per lead is going to be. Our annuity leads right now are around $7. Where is it at? $6, $6 to $7. And this is not just like a junk lead with low intent. These are people that have 401ks, that are interested in retirement planning, that are near the age of retirement, that have opted in, and then we put them through a funnel and we put them through a survey, and we further qualify the lead. Okay. Same thing. ACA, we can get them as low as 182. Medicare, for Medicare, we focus on T65s, and we really focus on people that want to supplement their Medicare, because we don't have to go through all the CMS, regulations, and we're killing it with those as well. So any Facebook ad campaign, we've mastered that. We can get you the lowest cost per lead with the highest ROI, and I can say that confidently.
Right, and I think too. One of my next questions would be that when. And I think you touched on this, but we're getting a lot. I mean, this is great. People are really excited, and we're excited for them, and we're glad. Probably gonna have to bring you guys back. You guys probably charge me, but whatever. No, I'm just kidding. But
$3,000.
Here's what I think would be good. One of the things, and again, I think you covered it, but you guys are not an FMO. You're not an IMO. If they get a lead, that's their lead. You're not going to split commissions. You're not going to do all that. And so that's just the price, and then they take it and they turn it into gold. Yes.
Yep. Every lead is exclusive. We have no agency or downline or anything like that. And once again, as I've said, 95% of our business comes from referrals. If you don't know who me or Jacob are, or who Swayze CRM is, you can go ask around on Facebook groups, and people will know who we are.
Well, and of course, you're on the Baber bucket system.
That's the greatest.
You are getting blown up. We're blowing you up today.
That's right.
Heather, you had said something. I want you to bring you in, because I know you are the star of the show, and you've yet to say anything because you had to fix everything behind the scenes. You said something about some of the leads out there. Companies will charge you $300 for the CRM setup. So explain that a little bit. Let these guys jump in on that.
So there was another lead company I was working with, and not only was it $300, and this was a friends and family discount I got to set up the CRM, and then their lead cost, you had to spend $100 for every time you bought leads. There was a minimum spend for that. There was the other stuff in your $700 a month program. Unbelievable. I mean, the biggest question, and I'm really surprised no one has asked this, is your lead prices, first of all, are amazing. And how are you getting around the FCC problems that the rest of the community is doing?
Yes.
Because I know no one asked, but it's on everyone's mind who buys leads. They're freaking out.
Yeah. So when we are running ads for people or we're pointing traffic, it's to a dedicated funnel with your business name, with the consent to you and everything. So we're 100%, FCC compliant. We're not buying shared leads or reselling leads. They're exclusive leads, and they all have to agree to a terms and conditions and a privacy policy.
Yep. Well, and I think Jacob, you touched on it earlier too. With the backroom side of that, where Heather's kind of talked about this, that extra stuff there. Kind of share with why that's important, and then how you guys make that connection. In other words, if some of the stuff that they have to, it's almost like a cafeteria. You got to buy this, you got to buy this, you got to buy. Mm-hmm. You guys seem like you package it all pretty well together. So they don't
even at our lowest tiers, we have HIPAA compliance that's going to be baked in. If you were to go directly to the high level platform, it would cost you $400 to $500 a month just to get that alone, to have HIPAA compliance on your accounts. So we're giving that to everybody, and so there's a lot of value there. But I think in addition that we think of everything we think of. Is this going to be compliant? Is this going to be something where the individual agent can actually take this, print this out, upload it to CMS? Does it have everything it needs? Let's go check with other experts in the industry. Let's make sure that when we provide this pre-built content or templates to the agents, that this is going to work. This is something that we are checking every single day. We're reading our articles. We're doing our homework so that we're a little bit beyond a marketer running an ad for somebody. It's a little more involved. And so we're, that's where we're at in terms of what Swayze is offering. And so it's not just about like just baking so much into a 97 plan that everyone's just like, whoa, like what else can you do? But genuinely, when we talk about these done for you plans and these things we're going to do for agents, imagine this. Imagine what happens in the first 5 minutes. You're scrolling through Facebook. You see something really cool on your Facebook and you opt into it and you're like, this is neat. You forget about it. How fast do you think you forget about that thing you clicked on? Very quickly, probably within the first 5 minutes. And so we're in tune with that. We know that if you paid for that lead and you're using your hard-earned money, that you probably are busy with somebody else. If you're an active agent, if you're doing the things that you're supposed to do as an agent, you're probably on the phone. You're probably chatting on text messages. You're probably working out of the house where some crazy stuff is going on and you're busy. And ultimately, to be efficient, you need these tools in your business. And so it's overwhelming to try to do it on your own. We work with a lot of people who are doing this on their own in their own accounts. Maybe they went to high level directly. Since we started, no kidding, we've taken over 200 clients off of their own high level accounts. We transferred them over to our agency. Including Heather. And part of it is just that, like, we want to give them a home. We want to give them more than what they can get on their own, and then give them access to experts and people with Tim and myself who can help guide them and teach them on the technology to make them successful. Because I think the biggest reason that people fail is they try to do everything all at once, right? They don't take the steps. They don't try to take things one thing at a time. They try to do it all at once, and then they get overwhelmed, and then they bail. And so we know if we can just capture them at that attention and bring them through all the processes and help them learn how to use technology and leverage it. If we show them, not just talk about it, but we show them what we can do with leads. Like, look, they just clicked it. You didn't answer them in 5 minutes. Look who just picked up the phone and called your lead. Swayze's people did. Or look who's talking to your lead. It's a Swayze AI bot that's chatting with your lead when you're busy and you couldn't quite get to it. And that thing saved the day and saved that lead for you. And that
we don't want any lead to slip through the cracks. That's the goal, right? So the goal is, and this is where we're moving as a company, is the agent gets the opportunity first, right? Lead comes in, they've got a timer's going off, and they dial their lead. If they don't dial their lead within a certain amount of time, a text message gets sent out to them. Swayze's going to pick up this lead for you and try to book you an appointment, right? And if you want to stop it, reply stop. But the idea is that whether it's not even just speed to lead, that's a very crucial part of it. But here's another thing is, think about these AI bots that are out. We have AI bots, but they're not perfect yet. And so one of the problems with AI bots is the bot may be in the middle of conversating with someone that wants to do an appointment, right? And then the person, for whatever reason, gets distracted. The bot does not then follow up and say, hey, are you still there? Are you still there? Right? So we have these systems in place to make sure that when AI fails, a human steps in. When you don't get to your lead in time, a human steps in. When it's after hours and a lead comes in and wants to talk right then and there, we have an answering service, right? So we obviously the goal is for the agent to make contact with their leads. But if you miss an opportunity, we want to be that safety net behind you. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and I think that what people, I help people with goal setting, and I work with a lot of people that think they're multitaskers, and I say, listen, the best way to solve a multitasker, and I'm a multitasker, is you got to teach them to do one thing at a time. And you can still have all these things you got to do, but I'm big on, like, I got the top 10 things I got to do that day, right? So that to me is multitasking. But if I just get 7, then the next 3 are tomorrow, right? So it's kind of like this stuff here. You got to tell people that don't do it all at once. Do what we're telling you. Go with this. Go with this. Don't jump ahead, right? Because I think if you did that, right, you'd be in trouble. Yes.
Yes. And I got a message from Liam, says, so nobody is stealing the sale. No. U.S. based appointment setters that are not agents, right? So that's no agents are dialing your leads. Yeah, and it's an option. It's not something that you have to do, right? You have that option, right? Some agents are gonna be like, hey man, don't call my leads. I got it. You know what I mean? But we want to give people a fair opportunity, because what we have noticed, the real reality is most insurance agents have like 5 or 6 different high-level CRMs right now. Right? They might have agent CRM, and then they've got, I don't know, another lead to client, or then they got another one. And what's happening is it's because all these lead programs are being packaged with it, right? And so it's like, oh, I get my IUL leads from this, and I have to have their CRM, or my IMO has this CRM, right? And it's so confusing. So like, no wonder agents are not, even with internal notifications, they're not getting notified, or they're not able to dial the lead in a timely fashion. We want to put an end to that. We want to be an all-in-one solution. We want it all to funnel in through Swayze, because we know that we can help agents get to that next level.
I'm going to do this. We're going to finish up. We went past our time, which is it was great. People keep talking, they keep staying. I'm fine with that. But I'm going to give them I told them I had a big announcement this week for them, and I'm going to let them know we're going to be doing webinars, and I'd love to have you guys do a webinar with us, and that's going to be where people have to actually sign up and get in there. It's not going to be like this. It's going to be different. We did one last week, went pretty well. We did one with Alan Grissom. He's on a lot of shows. He's on Bloomberg all the time, and it's not pay for play like all the other guys. He actually is on there because he's smart and all that good stuff. So that was our first webinar last week. So I'm going to invite you guys to be doing some with us. But that was one of my big announcements for everybody. We're also going to be doing some podcasts and things like that. But if you guys would I'm going to put you on the spot. Would you come back if we could bring you back?
Yes, for $3,000.
For sure.
No, we'll do it for free.
Hey, we'll even build live chat bots on there if you want us to do that.
Yeah, we can get real
I'm trying
nerdy.
to figure out who this Liam guy was because I'm Liam. And then
I know it was me. I took one of
pretending to be me.
from Facebook and put it in there so it would pop up so we could talk about it.
There we go.
So,
There we go. I
that's
thought I'm a brilliant question asker. I didn't even know. I just popped it up in my brain. It was perfect. But,
It was our AI bot. We can read your mind now.
I will tell you this. And I'm sure we'll get a comment. You guys, we've had a lot of different people on that do kind of what you guys do. You guys have got to be the most exciting group that we've had. And I know this isn't an exciting lane. I get it. But you guys really made this easy. I understand it a lot more than I did before, even though I've had other people on. But we will definitely get you set up for a webinar. I know Heather's got another thing coming up with you guys shortly that you're going to be putting out on the show. I think you got something going on. So we'll do that as well. But we're going to play the outro. I'm going to let you guys say goodbye real quick, and then we'll play the outro. So I'll start with you, Jacob, because you talk a lot more than Tim. Say goodbye, and then Tim, finish us up.
Well, appreciate everybody. SwayzeCRM.com. Come visit us. Come check us out. Appreciate you. Thank you.
Yes, I'm gonna reiterate what he said. Go to SwayzeCRM.com. Opt in if you want to book a consultation call with us. We have a calendar. We do demos Fridays at 12 p.m. Eastern, where you can always check out. But we want to work with you. Thank you, guys.
I want to let them know, because we do this for our paid members. I'm going to be in the green room with you guys in a little minute here, and we're going to talk. I'm going to try to get you guys to offer something special for our paid members, because they get a little discount here and there, and we need to help with that. So I know that, we got Andrew Saska, the magazine people. We've got all kinds of people that help, with what we're doing with the podcast and things like that. So we're going to put you guys out there on the paid side as well. This show will go out there, not to mention every place else. Heather, I'm going to have you finish this up and then put our outro on. And guys, stay with us so we can talk to you in the green room after the show. Thanks for your time. I thought you were outstanding.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Appreciate you.
we're definitely going to be reaching out to everyone who comment in #Swayze. And if you do reach out, remember, tell them Babe Ruth Bucket sent you. All right, guys. Good night.
On April 30th, join us as Liam and Aldo Venturacci, a leading expert in the field of special needs funding, discuss many different important points on the topic of special needs funding, and why Aldo has built out a group to help those in need with creating a plan to take care of their loved ones.